Story 1. Unseen Presence. This happened back in the summer of 2019. I had just completed my master's degree in environmental science from MIT, and my friends, Lisa and Rebecca, were in the same boat. Lisa, a 6-foot-tall fitness enthusiast with a penchant for adventure, had wrapped up her degree in physical therapy. Rebecca, the most petite among us but also the wittiest, was an English major with a dream of becoming a successful writer. Having spent the last couple of years buried in books, we were yearning for an escape. We decided on a camping trip to the Shenandoah National Park, a beautiful wilderness area in Virginia, known for its scenic beauty and diverse wildlife. We started our journey from our shared apartment in Boston on a sunny Friday morning, our car loaded with camping gear, canned food, and an acoustic guitar Lisa insisted on bringing. The 6-hour drive was filled with anticipation and excitement, and when we finally reached our campsite, it was even more beautiful than we had imagined. Nestled in a dense forest with a clear stream nearby, it was a slice of paradise. The first day was blissful. We hiked, explored the woods, and as the sun set, we set up a roaring campfire. That night, under a sky ablaze with stars, we huddled around the fire, roasting marshmallows and sharing spooky stories, our laughter punctuating the rhythmic song of crickets. It was a picture-perfect camping trip until the next morning when we found the unsettling footprints. They were disturbingly human-like but peculiarly elongated, circling our tents as if someone, or something, had been pacing around as we slept. We tried to laugh it off, attributing it to a wandering animal, but the lingering unease was undeniable. The third night brought with it a new level of fear. I woke up suddenly around 3 a.m., my heart pounding as I heard soft whispers wafting through the otherwise silent night. I stepped out of my tent, my flashlight piercing the darkness, revealing an empty campsite. I returned to my tent, telling myself it was just the wind, but sleep eluded me for the rest of the night. The next morning, we found the note. Pinned with a sharp stone to the rugged bark of an old oak tree close to our campsite, was a piece of faded, yellow paper. The message, written in an uneven, scrawling script with what looked like a piece of charcoal, sent a shiver down my spine. Nice stories. Tell more tonight. The thought that someone had been lurking around our campsite, listening to our conversations, was horrifying. We packed up as fast as we could, abandoning our once tranquil campsite, now tainted by an unseen presence. The drive back was filled with silence, each of us lost in thought, haunted by the chilling experience. Story 2. The Phantom Fire. Back in 2021, I was working as a software engineer in a tech firm in Philadelphia. Despite the demanding nature of my job, I always found time for my passion, exploring the outdoors. My friends, Ethan and Alex, shared this passion. Ethan was a high school teacher, known for his captivating storytelling skills. Alex, on the other hand, was a talented graphic designer with a love for photography. Our choice for that year's camping trip was the Pine Barrens in New Jersey. The Pine Barrens, contrary to its name, is a sprawling forest reserve, home to an array of wildlife and plants, but also to a plethora of eerie legends, the most famous being the Jersey Devil. We reached our campsite on a Thursday afternoon. It was a quaint spot near an old cranberry bog, the remnants of an industry that once thrived in the region. The first 2 days passed by in a flurry of hiking, fishing, and capturing stunning photographs. We relished our escape from city life, immersing ourselves in nature and the eerie tranquility that the Pine Barrens offered. The peculiar incident happened on our third night. I remember it was a moonless night, the darkness around our campsite only broken by the flickering light of our campfire and the dim glow of countless stars overhead. I woke up sometime around 2 a.m., nature's call pulling me from the depths of sleep. As I stumbled out of the tent, I noticed an odd flickering light deep in the woods. We decided to investigate, driven by a mix of concern and curiosity. We walked for about 15 minutes, our flashlights illuminating the path ahead. The source of the light was a campfire, but what unsettled us was the fact that it was seemingly unattended. There were no tents, no signs of people, just a fire burning in the middle of the woods. We extinguished the fire, concerned about forest safety. As we turned to leave, my flashlight fell on a strange symbol etched in the dirt nearby, a circle with an X through it. It seemed deliberately drawn, but by whom and for what purpose, we had no clue. The symbol, coupled with the unattended fire, filled us with a sense of unease. Sleep was hard to come by that night, and just as I was drifting off, I saw the flickering light again through the fabric of my tent. This time, all three of us ventured into the woods, our hearts pounding in the eerie silence of the night. The fire was back, burning as if it hadn't been doused a couple of hours ago. Beside the strange symbol in the dirt was a new addition, a single word that sent a shiver down my spine: leave. It was a command, not a request, and we didn't need to be told twice. At first light, we packed up and left the Pine Barrens, the chilling memory of the phantom fire and the inexplicable message prompting us to cut our trip short. As we drove away, I looked back at the dense forest, a sense of relief washing over me. It was an adventure that we would remember, not for the camaraderie and the beauty of the Pine Barrens, but for the inexplicable mystery that still haunts us to this day. Story 3, The Doppelganger in the Woods. I was just 16 at the time, a naive teenager who reveled in the thrill of adventure. My parents were avid campers, and every summer, we'd pack our stuff and head off to some remote wilderness. That year, we decided to take along my best friend, Emma, a freckled redhead with a fearless spirit. We chose a campsite in the Catskill Mountains in New York, a place known for its lush forests, abundant wildlife, and picturesque waterfalls. The drive from our home in Rochester was a cheerful journey, filled with laughter, sing-alongs, and an occasional argument between Emma and me on which snacks to munch on. The campsite was located near a gurgling creek, its crystal clear water reflecting the vibrant greenery and the cloudless summer sky. We spent our days exploring the woods, swimming in the creek, and grilling fish that Emma and my dad caught. One night, Emma suggested we play a game of hide and seek. At first, my parents were hesitant, given we were in a dense forest, but Emma's enthusiasm won, and we started the game with my dad being it. I found a fantastic hiding spot inside a hollowed-out tree and settled in to wait. Time seemed to stretch out, and just as I was starting to worry, I heard excited voices heading my way. When they found me, they looked terrified. They claimed they had seen another girl who looked just like me, standing near the creek, her back towards them, staring blankly into the water. They had called out to her, thinking it was me, but she had ignored them and walked deeper into the woods, disappearing from sight. I laughed it off, thinking they were playing a prank. But the look on their faces told me they were not joking. We decided to call it a night and return to our campsite. The next day, we tried to laugh it off, but the incident cast a shadow over our trip. We couldn't shake off the unease, and 2 nights later, we packed up and headed home, cutting our trip short. The memory of that camping trip still sends chills down my spine. It's a story I share on rare occasions, a stark reminder of that eerie night in the Catskill Mountains when we encountered what seemed like my doppelganger, a ghostly presence that looked like me but wasn't. I often wonder who or what it was, but perhaps, some mysteries are best left unsolved.